What's going on, Internet? The Black Okage here, aka TBH. And to be honest, I'd like to welcome you guys back to the Game and Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and we have a lot in store for episode 124. If you're watching the video version of the show, no, it's available. Oh, wait. Video version of the show at youtube.com.
Oh.
This is how I know I'm tired. Fuck y'all.
Oh.
If you're watching the video version of the show at youtube.com/GI updates, know the show is available on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon, and all other major podcast platforms. Also, be sure to rate the show 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We're currently sitting at 1,600 5-star ratings on Spotify. Let's try to get that to 1,800 5-star ratings on Spotify. We'd really appreciate you guys. That'll help us move up the algorithm. Also, before I introduce my co-host, a quick little announcement. The GI podcast is now officially sponsored by Zavi, which is one of the best online platforms to purchase geek and gaming clothings, Funko Pops, gaming accessories. We're going to talk about it a little bit later. Also, it's very affordable. We're going to talk about it a little bit later, but we just want to let you guys know that this episode is sponsored by Zavi. Now, let's get to my co-host, the first of which he is finally moved into that house. He's a full-blown dad now, but you know, I still know him as Xbox Flyest Avatar. Let us know about your Flyest Avatar poster inside of your house. UTXJG the Don. Say what up to the people.
I kind of wish I had one. That would sound pretty lit. But I'm tired, ready to get this going. All of our schedules are mixed up. People are busy, but this money is keeping me awake. So let's get it.
True. And my second co-host, he hates when I make a Popeye's chicken sandwich joke.
It's the fifth one. I
wasn't going to make one. So instead,
Okay,
I'm going to regurgitate the Batman Detroit joke because the Batman movie just came out. Did you relate to it on any point, Ethos?
Absolutely. I felt like Batman myself.
Was that your opening statement?
Yeah, absolutely. Especially, I'm not going to say because I might spoil something for people who I have a tendency to spoil apparently movies for a lot, of people on the podcast. So,
you do.
I bring
on Twitter. And on Twitter.
I apparently say stuff like, even though the movie's been out for like month now, 2 months, and people are like, I haven't seen it yet. Like Siggy, who hasn't seen the movie yet, which is crazy. But go see
he
Batman.
loves complaining.
Yeah, I don't know how he
complaining.
I don't know how he hasn't seen the movie yet. But yeah,
spoiling movies. Suggesting games people play, then we get it and he stops playing. That's crazy.
No, I proved that wrong. I've definitively proved that wrong. Look, I just want to, I'll give a special shout outs to Chaos and also to Apex. Both of them tried that shit on me with Hunt, and then I proved them wrong because once again I tried multiple times to get to play with them, and we play games. So I don't want to hear them ever say that I don't play games with them anymore.
You don't play no games. I'm about to patch you in Elden Ring. What's the name?
You definitely are. I'm busy. Give me a break.
We going fucking crazy at Elden Ring, bro. And you know what's crazy about that game? I had the epiphany today. I was like, I can't believe I'm saying this. Because y'all know I hate DLC, but I was like, man, I hope this game gets some DLC.
Damn, this game already has so much.
I want some DLC. I'll pay $30 easy for some more DLC.
No, because here's why. As much as I'm enjoying the game and I'm towards the end of it, I've explored a lot of the map, and some of the bosses are starting to repeat themselves. So like, it'd be nice to see some new, like, refreshing content. That's like my one. That and the multiplayer are my 2 critiques of the game.
I'm scared. I'm actually like scared that when I beat Elden Ring, like there'll be like a sort of like hole where it'll just be like, nothing hits like this. Like everything will just be, It's
funny you say that because I saw a TikTok about that, and they said the same exact thing, and I thought about it, and I felt the same way. I was like, damn. When I beat this game, I'm gonna go back to like what, Apex? It's
some
gonna be
mid
like,
stuff. Yeah, some.
It's very rare that like I thoroughly enjoy a game. I had looked at Steam, and I think I got like 80 hours on. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get 100 hours on this easy.
Oh, I do have a game you might like though. And it's on the Game Pass too. Have you heard of Weird West?
Yeah, we're supposed to be talking about it on Let's Play next week. Yeah, it looks like Torchlight.
No, it's made by some Arcane devs. It's like, apparently it's like Dishonored, Mass Effect type of vibe where like you can pick your posse and you actually like do your plot and story, and they actually change due to your choices, and you can save them or you can get them killed, like that sort of thing. It's like, I watched like 3 reviews of it and I was like, this sounds lit. So it's on Game Pass too, day one. Shout out to the Game Pass. So you can play it for free basically if you have the Game Pass.
And you know, I assumed it was gonna be good because it's published by Devolver Digital. So.
Yeah, and it's got really positive reviews. Like I've seen multiple people say it's like it might be a sleeper for this year. So I'm definitely about to play it whenever I get some time. We can talk about it during the podcast.
Cool. Before we get into the shows, a couple friendly reminders for April. Your free games on PlayStation are Hood Outlaws and Legends, SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, and Slay the Fire. And then on Xbox, you get Another Spirit, Hue, Outpost, Koloki, and then MX versus ATV. I was too lazy to look up things on PC because I'm tired. Let's see, for delays and release dates, Suicide Squad got delayed. That was supposed to be one of the biggest games of the year. The gist of why they announced it delayed it, they need more time because they want to polish the game. Yada. How y'all feel about that?
I'm kind of upset about this one. I usually don't get upset about these delays. I'm like,
Speak
whatever.
your truth,
but
JG.
hey, truth. Suicide Squad, bro, ain't my truth. Suicide Squad. I was kind of hoping that we were gonna play it this year. So it is what it is. I'm gonna take the L, keep moving, but it'll be all right. It'll be all right.
I actually feel the same way for the simple fact that kind of like we were talking about earlier, like, oh man, when we finish Elden Ring, it's gonna feel like an empty hole because a game like this doesn't come around for like a long time where it really inspires us to like dig deep into the game. And I felt like the one other game, I don't think I would have dug deep in it, but like I would have thoroughly just enjoyed it, might have been Suicide Squad. So now I'm kind of looking at the end of the year and I'm like, what else can, at this point, I don't see anything beating Elden Ring for game of the year. We haven't even seen fucking, what's the space shit called? Starfield. Yeah. And
everybody's still talking about it. Yep.
I refuse.
And I feel like people forget Bethesda's coming off shit stain 76. So like I just don't trust them right now. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed it got delayed. And then Breath of the Wild.
If Gotham Knights gets delayed, because that's supposed to still be coming out this year. If that gets delayed too, then I'm really done.
Yeah, that would suck. I don't think that game's gonna get delayed because when they first revealed it, it looked like it was well along already. I don't think that game's gonna get delayed. I think when did they say it's supposed to come out? Like in May or something?
October 25th.
Oh, I stand corrected. October 25th. Breath of the Wild 2 got delayed. I'm not surprised by this one for the simple fact that like they really haven't shown much about the gameplay. It still doesn't really have. We don't even know if it's called Breath of the Wild 2. They've been really quiet. I'm not surprised. I don't know why anybody thought this game was gonna come out this year. Do y'all care about that being delayed?
Elden Ring scared it away, and that's my story. I'm to get to it.
Oh, well, hold on. Hey, speak on it. Speak on it. Why you feel that way? I didn't even think of that.
I said it last podcast, and some people tweeted me when it happened. They were like, I remember last podcast, Ethos said that he wouldn't be surprised. I can't believe I'm talking myself in the third person. That I said that basically I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of those Q4 games, a lot of those big hitters, because of how good Elden Ring came out to be, that they're going to move to 2023 because they just know they're not going to beat it for Game of the Year. So they're just going to let it have it. And I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if God of War gets like surprisingly delayed at the last minute. It wouldn't surprise me if Breath of the Wild gets delayed. Like I listed these games and Breath of the Wild did it. So God of War is still up in the air. They've been consistently saying, oh, it's going to come out this year. But I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think God of War Ragnarok's going to beat Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring just overwhelmingly.
You think that's coming out this year?
Yeah, they said they've been confirming over and over again and saying, yeah, we're going to definitely hit 2022 for Ragnarok, but I don't believe it simply because they said the same thing about Horizon. They said that they were positive it was going to show up last year, remember that? But then like they delayed it again into this year. So yeah, I think they're going to delay Ragnarok. I think that's going to be the other like disappointing like delay that people are probably hoping doesn't happen, but I think Elden Ring really shook a lot of people. And if I was a person who was like, I put a lot of money into a game that I was like, yeah, this is going to be the definitive game of this year, and Elden Ring just came out of left field and just decimated the conversation, I would just be like, yeah, just delay our game. Just give it more time so we can just fight for next year. So that's my story about Nintendo. I think Nintendo couldn't handle the smoke. I think because Breath of the Wild took inspiration from, from other games that's what made Breath of the Wild unique. Now Elden Ring did it. I guarantee you the devs are like, hold on, let's see what we can take from Elden Ring and put into Breath of the Wild. So that's probably what they're delaying for. That's my take. It's crazy. It's a conspiracy, but I'm still gonna believe it.
I've seen several people say, "Oh, that means Switch Pro or Switch 2 confirmed that they're delayed it for that." I'm like, I don't know about that.
I'm done.
That's far-fetched.
I don't. Even if they did announce that, I wouldn't care because I have the Steam Deck now. So I think like that boat is long gone for me for being excited. Like if it comes out, cool, but I have no reason to get it now that I have a Steam Deck. So
Freaking you know, there's a I found from TikTok. There's a competitor to the Steam Deck called like
What is it?
AO Neon or something like that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, they already produced one version of it. I think 2 years ago they launched one, and then they made an updated version of it. But the problem is, I think it's more expensive than the Steam Deck, so it's not that, like, it's close to $1,000, so it's not that competitive to. That's the thing. Steam Deck is just so good because not only of the new hardware it has, but because the pricing is so damn affordable. Like it's very hard. I don't think any handheld in the market right now.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on Amazon because you can get it off there. It's $13.49. So I mean, it's $1,400 with tax.
And you're gonna and then you tell somebody, or you get a Steam Deck for $400. They're gonna say, "Oh shoot, I'm taking the Steam Deck." Yeah, in a heartbeat. You know,
I'm good off.
And the Steam Deck's been crazy. Actually, they said the Q2.
How you know your shit ain't even shipped?
Well, they said they starting the Q2 orders Monday, and I am
hope is lit, bro. You ain't even touched it.
Yo, I got the hopium ready,
guy,
boy.
I've been watching YouTube videos, bro. Talking about this shit lit, bro. You don't even got it.
Yes, I have. I've watched multiple videos. I've watched what to do first on your Steam Deck. I've watched best accessories to get with your Steam Deck. I've watched first things to do. I've watched emulation videos. I'm ready. The moment I get my Steam
when you
Deck,
niggas sound like the comment section. I swear to God.
I don't care.
Why?
I don't care. That thing is lit. I'm telling you that.
I didn't say it wasn't. I just said you don't got it. That's what I said. You don't got it. You basing your opinion off other niggas, bro.
Thank you, JG. Thank you. I'm getting, but the problem is I've already pre-ordered it. I already got it for Q2 confirmed, and that starts next week. It starts Monday. So there's fingers crossed. I should hopefully be able to get it by this month. If I get it by this month, then you best believe, oh man, I'm gonna be spamming that shit on Twitter. I'm gonna be talking all about it all fucking month. I'm gonna be playing Apex on that shit with y'all. I'm gonna be on that shit all day. That's all I'm gonna be on is that.
Next time I see you when you have it, I'm gonna check your web history. That's the first thing I'm gonna do, boy. See what you've been doing with that.
You know what? Just for you, I won't even use the incognito. I want you to see all the nasty shit.
Look at this nasty nigga,
bro. I want you to see all the
foot fetish. Fucking Elden Ring moved 12 million units, and to put things in perspective, it took them like 3-4 years to move 10 million units on, I think, was it Dark Souls 2 or 3? So like they're moving 12 million in like a month. That's fucking crazy on a single player RPG. That body's different, bro. Shout out.
I guess single player games aren't dead.
Yeah, I guess single player. I guess EA should be quiet. I mean, they should have known that with Star Wars, but freaking. Oh yeah. I want to put this on the notes too. 3090 still sucks. I heard you guys been having some trouble. You want to talk about that?
JG?
It's not a GPU. At least I don't think
so. You know, I wasn't. If I recall,
JG?
I was in Ethos stream the other day. He was fighting a boss in Elden Ring, and the nigga's whole stream just fucking crashed. And I said, "Wow, look at the 3090 go." You know, it's crazy. Whenever I was streaming it yesterday, and they was like, "Yo, yes, it did, nigga. There's footage of this shit, bro."
The game crashed.
Thank you. The 3090 doesn't work. That's all I wanted to hear.
First of all, I'm gonna hand you L. First of all, the machine I'm on doesn't even have a 3090 in it.
Wow, so you're poor. You confirmed.
He's using another rig right now.
Yes, I'm using another rig with a 3070 in it. I have a. Hold on, just to show you, I'm not.
Was it because you realized it doesn't work?
Oh, no, here. I'm
so it's a problem with the 30 series period. 30 is poverty.
No, I'm gonna check you further. I got a 3070 in my rig. I got a 3090 that's just been collecting dust in another rig, and then I got a 3080 I just bought last week. So I got the whole damn line, baby.
And can't play one game. Damn, nigga, that's crazy.
I'm playing all the games.
When I was streaming Elden Ring, people were like, "Yo, your stream is so smooth. How did you get Elden Ring to run so well?" I don't know. I guess it's just the 28. I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I don't know. What's your excuse, JG?
You can't.
No, deadass. Look at my stream. That should be buttery smooth, bro. They cannot believe it's not butter, bro.
None of that shit don't be looking smooth.
Well, hold on. You state your case. Why your shit failing, Jay?
What? Oh, no, I can't speak for JG.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not talking to Buddy because I'm
exactly.
not talking about the company.
Exactly.
I don't know
It's not the 3090 though, man. It must be something else.
Well, you found out it wasn't 3090?
You just got a new house, bro. You need to be careful. I don't want that shit, lighting on fire or nothing, bro.
Oh man.
Nah, in my defense though, it didn't happen with Elden Ring. My shit ain't crashed with Elden Ring ever. It was only other games.
Wow. I just found an article. And it says that the 30 series was produced by Samsung, and that's why they're blowing up. That's crazy, bro.
That's a bad joke. Womp womp. Move on. Move on. Cut the stream off. That was one of the worst things ever said, bro. One of the worst.
Fine, I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
Yeah, go home, bro.
hope you stutter on your last thought.
Oh shit. Well, that was a joke, by the way, Chad. That didn't really happen. You know, some people might run with that shit. All right, let's get into the opening conversation. So since the last podcast, a new Final Fantasy game came out. It's been a big meme all over the internet. It's called Stranger of Paradise: Final Fantasy Origin. Available on all major platforms. From my understanding, this game is a prequel to the original Final Fantasy, and basically it ends what leads to the events of the original Final Fantasy. It stars Jack, who's trying to destroy chaos. I'm not really too familiar with the early Final Fantasy games because the first one I ever played was 8. So to me, this is all like, you know, just new and learning the lore. But then I was talking to Gerard earlier today, and he was telling me that even still, like, some of it's kind of weird because there's references to Final Fantasy 7 in it and stuff. They kind of convoluted the story. So I don't know. All I can say is that I'm enjoying it for what it is. It's more of an action-based game. I kind of talked JG into trying it out. How you feeling about Stranger of Paradise?
I was pleasantly surprised. I got to give you your props on this one. I had no intention on playing this game. I did not know that it was going to be like basically a full action game. And like literally I did the tutorial. I was like, yo, this game is fucking lit. People were watching me playing Homeless, for example. She was saying like this has like kind of like DMC vibes a little bit, mixed in with a little bit of Neo, and I was like, that's kind of interesting. It's an interesting perspective when she was watching me play. So I'm like, okay, like I kind of see like how this game has like a couple of those elements from those games in it, like with the actual combat. But I really like it though. Like it's even smoother than the Final Fantasy 7 remake. Like they really went like full on action with this one, and of course like you have the RPG elements with your weapons and your skill trees and stuff, and like you could do some crazy stuff with all the what they call them jobs on this one. So it's dope. I really do like it. The story is like, man, I'm similar to you, TBH. I played Final Fantasy 7. It's my first one, and to be honest, I don't really care about the story. All I know is this shit is hilarious though, with Jack and his chaos, because it's all he wants to do. And I see some people saying like Jack is one of the most, you know, interesting Final Fantasy characters. I'm like, really? Are we playing the same game? Nah, bro. This dude just like
He's
chaos.
dense as fuck.
Nah, bro, he is super dead. That's all he cares about, is just destroying chaos. I'm like, okay, like he has one goal in life, and I see why it's a meme. Like it is actually freaking hilarious. But other than that though, like I think that the game like feels really dope. I don't really care about the story, but you know, people were telling me that this was, you know, Final Fantasy, the first Final Fantasy. I'm like, all right, cool. You know, it don't mean nothing to me. It's whatever. But I really like it so far, and I want to continue playing it and eventually beating this because like I'm getting some cool jobs now. I ended up going like the full Ronin route, and I'm having a fun time playing it so far.
Yeah, I actually had no intention of playing it either. I ended up getting a free copy of it, and I was like, all right, let me just try it for like an hour. And I had the same exact epiphany. I was like, yo, okay, this combat is lit, and like nobody's talking about the game. I personally, because it's like, I don't want to say it's full-blown action. It's like 90% action with those little RPG elements, but it's definitely more action-based than Final Fantasy 7 Remake. When you look at the remake for 7, it looks like it's action-based, but when you actually play it and try it out, there's like an ebb and flow to the game where you can't button mash. In this game, you can definitely button mash. You won't get punished as much because it's so reactionary and so more action based. The one critique I have with the combat system, I don't know if you noticed it, but the way that you cast the spells, like you have to hold down a button and then you move the analog stick to which spell that you want to cast. I didn't really like that because a lot of times I found myself like fat fingering and accidentally moving any type of like, because you have to hold it to cast the spell. So like, let's say you're trying to cast a water spell, any accidental touch of the analog stick while you're doing that, it can move it over to fire and it could fuck things up. So like I would have preferred if like I could just kind of activate the spell kind of like in Final Fantasy 7 and then cast it versus moving this weird ass analog stick. That I didn't really like that mechanic. And then traversing the environment is my other critique of the game. I got lost really easy. Did you get lost in this game, Jay?
Yeah, I wish that you can jump. I was like, it's another one of those games that, like, especially like when you're playing the Elden Ring, like you can finally jump in this series. I'm like, why can't you jump in this game? Like, it seemed like something that you should be able to do. And yeah, I would say like the map or the lack thereof of a map is extremely confusing. I got caught on one part just because I didn't even know how to switch to my mage class. I'm sitting here like, I know I'm supposed to do this. It says that I need to do a water spell, but how the hell do I get to the job to get to the mage in order to do it? So like, it just, some things like they just do not guide you correctly, and it is very easy to get lost.
Yeah, I think the game needed a map system. It's really weird that the game is so large and there's no type of map system. But other than that, I'm really enjoying it. I actually enjoy the fact that the game, it doesn't take itself seriously. It's very like B movie kind of campy type shit, where it's like, hey, let's get something to eat. And Jack is like, I just want to kill chaos. Like, I think it's funny, man. Like, I'm like, this shit is so stupid. If you just don't take it seriously, it's funny to me. Yeah, and the story is pretty straightforward. I would go as far as to say like this game is like a dark horse of 2022. Like it's gonna get left out of a lot of conversations, but everybody who touches the game, they seem to really like it. And I wouldn't say go out and buy it at $60 if you're like on a tight budget. I know gas is through the roof, especially out here in Cali. It's like $1 million a gallon. I mean, I can't really relate, but I know it is. You know? So if you can't afford it, wait till the price drops. But it's really dope. Don't sleep on it if you're looking for a new RPG. I would ask your opinion on it, Ethos, but we know you don't play any games, so I mean, we can move on. I play
30 minutes of it. I ain't got nothing. Continue.
No, you don't play games.
I play games. I play games. There's a game I play called Samurai Zero. It's all I play now. It's all
whatever.
Oh.
What did your 30 minutes of Final Fantasy Stranger of Paradise?
It was cool. That's all I had. One of my devs that worked on Neo 2 is on Samurai Zero, so
Okay.
Oh, you dead ass for?
I'm dead serious. Yeah, our animator, he worked on Neo 2. Yeah,
look at that. This game is made. I found it interesting. This game is actually made by Team Ninja and Koei. Yeah. So I was like, that's a very interesting combination. So I was like, the way that this game plays makes total sense.
Yeah, it plays like Neo from what I played a little bit. It reminds me of Neo 2, just a little kind of mixed with like Final Fantasy 7. It's like a mix, like they had a baby, and that's what it felt like to me a little bit. I'm not a fan of the soul break thing though. I don't like how like you're stuck in place when you do it. And that's the parry thing I just don't like. But everything else I think is pretty cool.
It's cool though. Standing there whenever there's an enemy that does whatever the purple attack is, and you can like absorb it and then use it as your own. I think that's cool, but
yeah, I thought it was cool. I just didn't think it was. I didn't like how the naming system, like they call it a soul break. Like nigga, it's a parry. Like just. Like it was all these.
They have to make it interesting. They have to make it unique.
It was all these weird ass words coming up when I was doing the tutorial and shit, and I'm just like, bro, I hate that shit, bro. Like, just call it what the fuck it is, man.
Yeah, true. It is a lot. They kind of do a lot at you and
making me overthink
the names. Yeah.
I just ended up pressing buttons and I figured the game out. I was like, oh, this is a parry. Like,
oh my god.
I mean, I did that with Elden Ring. I slayed more bosses than you, nigga.
No, I've played way more than you. I've definitely slayed more bosses than you. You've missed 5 bosses. I don't want to know.
No, I got mad many bosses under my belt.
This man being disrespectful.
Don't worry about the Ethos. He gets shit on Twitter right now. He gets shit on Twitter by other.
I'm not listening. I'm not taking.
You use the moon veil.
I ain't listening to nobody.
Wandering into bosses, bro. He's wandering into
I refuse to take any of this from a man who couldn't even beat a monkey. So I ain't gotta listen to
this. You know what's funny though? I said it on stream the other day. I was like, I've contemplated after I finish slaying all the monsters, I might go back to Sekiro and return to the monkey. But if I do it, I was telling chat, I was like, I think I'm gonna start a fresh playthrough because the mechanics are different. I need to reacclimate with the game. But I was like, I think it's time to go back and slay my demon, that damn gorilla.
Real quick question, JG, since we've played both of these games, do you still prefer Sekiro's combat? Me personally, I do. Do you still prefer it? Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Maybe I'll appreciate it more.
Yeah, Elden Ring is good, but I just like the fluidity of, I guess, the deflecting. I enjoy that more. That from Elden Ring.
I like the freedom.
I'm still 100% like if they had the same parry system for the samurai building here, this shit would be like one of the greatest games like of all time, bro.
Yeah, all time. If I could parry just like in Sekiro, oh man, I would have lost my mind.
Bro, I would have been fucking some bosses up.
Yeah, I would have been timing the mess out of that Black Blade dude. Oh man, I would have been timing the crap out of him.
Yes, sir. So we gon' see. What's the name? Fortnite. It's making a resurgence on social media. Reason being is Epic Games announced that they were going to put a limited mode in that involved no building. They took the building out of Fortnite and it just became a cartoony third-person shooter. What ended up happening is it got such a strong reception that they recently announced that it's now permanent. They now have a permanent no building mode, so you can choose between building or no building. They listened to the feedback from the community. I know you spent some hands-on time with this, Jay. How'd you feel about it?
Man, they got me, dog. I ain't even gonna lie. Epic got me. I never thought that I would play Fortnite again. Like, Epic was pretty much like, that was my Battle Royale game, and I didn't care about anything else. But playing it, dog, it actually feels really good. Now it's a lot of things that I just have no clue what's going on, because this is a totally different game. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, minus the no building, everything else, if you haven't played this game since they started like their actual seasons, you will be extremely confused. There's so much into the game that, you know, I'm just extremely confused. Like, I literally had Nomad like try to just guide me and show me like what the hell this item does, and this item does.
They got planes and hamster balls and shit and Kamehamehas and lightsabers.
Dead ass, like, it's so much shit in this game. Like, it's extremely confusing. But just the fact that, like, if I'm shooting somebody and they can't do anything but, like, you know, hide behind the actual environment and not build a freaking tower just to, you know, one pump me like in my freaking face, like, that stuff is dumb to me. I never enjoyed it. But like the fact that I can just like actually shoot somebody and it's like, all right, it's 101, you know, you're done. Like, if I could shoot better than you, I actually really enjoy. And I think that this was probably one of the greatest things that Fortnite has done in a while. To actually, you know, and it was supposed to be a limited time mode, but literally, like, so many people came back and they were like, they should make this permanent. They should make this permanent. Like, actual people who like grew up and blew up playing Fortnite, they were like, yo, I love this no building mode. Keep it. So I'm glad that they actually listened and were like, all right, well, this is going to be permanent. So it's dope. It did bring a lot of people back. I don't know how much I'm going to play it just because it's still so many other games to play, but I think I'll hop on it from time to time. Like, it actually was a great refresher. Like, it felt refreshing playing this game over Apex, because Apex is extremely sweaty nowadays. So like getting on Fortnite and not having to deal with freaking 4-year-olds who can build faster than me just to shoot me one time, like, it actually felt good. So I like it.
I haven't touched it yet, but I would just like to take the time to actually praise Epic Games for listening to the community. I feel like a lot of times we rag on developers for not listening, so I think it's important to actually give people their flowers. And what ended up,
they listened during Paragon.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, you know what happened. The black man left. Anyways.
Hey.
I'm just saying. Everything fell apart when the black man left.
No comment.
The black man was the godfather of Paragon. Anyways, what was I about to say? Oh, yeah, so it's cool to see that they listen. And you know what ended up happening? The only reason I have not played this, because legitimately I just have not had the free time to sit down and play this game. But I ended up reinstalling it today. So I planned on trying it this weekend. I was like, I hear people having fun with it. I always said I would probably enjoy this game more if the building wasn't like a crazy necessity. Because I'm like, yo, it got out of, I feel like when the game first came out and people would build, they would do it, but then like they would still try to fight you. But it got to the point where literally motherfuckers is making skyscrapers and shit. Like 2 seconds later, you're looking up at Gotham, and I'm like, bro, all right, it's kind of out of control. I just want to see who's a better shooter. So I appreciate them giving people the option to do that. That's how you bring the fan base back. I'm just curious to see how long people will actually stay on the game. What about you, Ethos? That's a great opinion.
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot, actually. I agree with JG, everything JG said. I think all the other BRs are too sweaty right now, and this one actually just was like just fun to like relax. Like, I didn't have to sweat to play it, just had fun. You know, killed some bots, killed some real people, won a couple. So no, I enjoyed it. I play Fortnite more often as long as they have this up. So yeah, they got me back. I agree with JG. They caught me.
Can we get a GI skin in Fortnite? Apex. Watch your mouth.
No, I stand by that.
Why you say that?
I can't stand Apex, man. I'd be ready to throw my keyboard every time I try to play.
You just fucking suck, bro.
No, I don't suck. Yo, 1v1 me, bro.
We never win when you're on the roster. I'm just putting that out there.
Boot up the game right now. I will 1v1.
Not only do we never win when you're on the roster, Siggy barely wins when I'm not on the roster.
Siggy. Okay, so first of all, I don't think it's me. I just think it's the combinations of how we are set up on a squad determine if we're good or not. And I just don't think we have good synergy. Like, if I play with other people, like if I'm playing with DX or something like that, usually we can win games and stuff like that. I just think
Wow. So what's wrong with my playstyle, Ethos?
Well, I just think me, and Siggy just don't have like complementary playstyles. I think we just do the exact same thing and we end up getting killed. This is what happens. I rush in because usually I'm the one that has to run ahead. So usually I get shot at first, and then you try to help me out. And then Siggy, God bless him, I don't know what Siggy be doing. Siggy runs off somewhere. He gets shot, loses his shield. He runs off because he has to go shield instead of helping us fight. And then I go down, then you go down. Then Siggy's like, oh, what happened? And then he's healing himself. That's usually 90% of our fight. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me that's
no, for real. And to add
that's like 90% of what happens.
To add extra in there, I would ask where JG be at, but we know he don't play no games. He ain't in the field.
He don't play no games. Yeah, he don't play.
I don't. All right, bro. Okay. Anyway.
Judgment, baby, judgment.
Nah,
Only time
y'all
I'm good
fools
with
went
Piggy is
back
when
to
we play
Apex.
Arena. Only
Ooh,
Arena.
I was
That's
playing
one
on
thing
the
me and
server.
Piggy. I suck at BR. I admit, I'm not good with BR anymore. I'm decent at arenas, but I suck at BR. I just can't do it anymore.
I take like little breaks here and there, but then every time I come back, I still be going crazy in that game. Like I don't know, it's just my go-to like comfort game.
I'm just not as good as I used to be. I acknowledge.
I mean, the last time I came back, I got a nice ass sniper clip, so I don't know, man. It's like riding a bike.
Pretty much. Well, you a shooter, man. That's cool. You don't slay no bosses, you don't shoot nothing. That's cool.
What's going on, y'all? This is UTXJT the Don, 1/3 of the Game and Illuminati podcast. Now, what do you think when you hear pop culture? I bet it's movies like Harry Potter, anime like Attack on Titan, universes like DC and Marvel, video games like Pokemon, even music like the legendary Bob Marley. Now, you already know the Game and Illuminati is all about pop culture, and this week, the Game and Illuminati has teamed up with Zavi, the home of pop culture. Now, Zavi is based out of the UK, but they're bringing that pop culture flavor over to the States. They're hitting every interest of mine. Best of all, everything is affordable, like the current deals on clothing and bundle offers on some of your favorite franchises. Now, Sonic 2 is quickly approaching, and to celebrate its release, Zavi has launched an exclusive Sonic clothing collection inspired by the classic game series. Now, check out the link in the description or search Zavi.com and use the code GIPodcast at checkout for 20% off. Now, if you want to purchase anything else on the website outside of clothing, you can still use the code and you can get 10% off. On top of this, Zavi has just released the April edition of their free digital magazine called The Lowdown, which this month features exclusive interviews with the cast and director of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, as well as a behind-the-scenes look at the year's most anticipated game, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. That link will also be in the description below if you want to check it out. Remember, go to Zavi.com and use code GIPodcast for 20% off of clothing and 10% off of other items. That's ZAVVI.com. Take your love of video games and pop culture to the next level with Zavi.
You playing Predecessor?
You said what? Was that English?
My brain lagged.
Blurred together,
Yo,
bro.
my
Whatever
brain
you say.
lagged, dog.
Words
My brain
are
just-
hard.
I'm tired, man. Words are definitely difficult. I said, are you playing Predecessor? You know, it's back up.
I played one game this morning and I got fucking dunked. I was
Is it better? What do you think about compared to Old School?
Okay, so it's good. The only thing I can critique on it right now is like there was some crazy screen tearing, but I mean that can be fixed. But in terms of how the game runs for the most part, it works. Game looks good. It's got a decent roster for the beta. I think, and then they changed the item system to like a more traditional kind of League of Legends item system. I mean the game works, I guess for me, and I guess I got to play with one of y'all. It just didn't give me that rush anymore. I feel like the time for one of these Paragon remakes was within 2 years after it originally got canceled. And I feel like, I feel like people forget, like, that game came out like in 2016. It's 2022.
But we had fun. We had fun playing Oversoul.
Yeah, we did. I think what this one, why I didn't enjoy it as much maybe, is because this one's more like Monolith. There's no travel mode in it. So it was kind of slow. And so then I was sitting there and I'm like, but it's a well-built game. More people are kind of backing it. But then at the same time, the community is going to be splintered, and the community is already splintered as it is, but now it's going to be splintered between Overprime and this game. And I'm just like, is either one of these games going to have enough traction to hold people's attention? I don't know. That remains to be seen, but the game is definitely good. It works. I like the changes. It's just a matter of, I was sitting there and I'm not having as much fun as I used to. And is it because has this ship sailed for me, or is it because I'm playing by myself and I'm getting fucking dunked? Because I was definitely playing against a 5-stack and it was a bunch of randoms. Like they were sweating hard as fuck. The other team, they were so coordinated. And I'm like, bro, can people learn the game? Jesus fucking Christ. So I don't know. Maybe when I play with y'all, I'll have a different opinion. But that's how I feel right now.
All right. Sorry, that was a little side thing, but there you go. There's one of your topics. That's my 30%. I'm done for the rest of the podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Did you get a chance to play Predecessor, Jay?
Nah, because I remember the last time I tried, I couldn't even get in the server. So I just re-downloaded before we started. So I will try it out. So let's all try it as the good old GI boys again, and then we'll give the final opinion, like if we enjoy it. But I mean, I kind of feel the same way that you feel. Like it just took a little bit too long to come out. I remember we were hearing about, when Epic first announced that they were going to release all the assets. It was like, oh shit, the floodgates open, right? And then like everybody was like, all right, we're coming out with our own Paragon, and just nothing manifested into like something that was actually playable. And now like I feel like Predecessor is the furthest now. They've jumped ahead. So we'll see how this ends up. But I remember like we were super heavy on freaking MOBAs, and now it just like, and then BRs kind of took over, and then we were on that for a while, and now BRs kind of fizzled out, even though Apex is still kind of there. But we'll see if the MOBAs can recapture our hearts or whatever.
Yeah, I'll say Predecessor mechanically, based off what I played, is more polished than Overprime, because I remember like there were a lot of janky animations still in Overprime that made it kind of hard to time or like hit people correctly. But in this game, it felt very polished. The only thing I would knock is like there was screen tearing, but I'm pretty sure they can clean that up. And then also one positive I'll give too is before we couldn't even like get into a game. I got into a game in 10 seconds. It was really quick. So it seems like there's a healthy amount of people playing. So like definitely try it this weekend if you get a chance. Halo. I know none of us got a chance to actually watch the show, but since the last podcast, the show has came out.
I thought you were talking about the dead game.
You told what dead game? What?
I thought you were talking about
Halo Infinite, bro.
the dead game.
Come on, bro. Don't kick the dead.
I really
shit's
like,
not cool, dude. This
how about a dead
cool.
game for?
It's funny. It makes it funnier too because it's called Infinite, bro. And it's like it didn't have
it
didn't have
really
infinite lives. Like shit died pretty
Infinite with
quickly.
No content. That's the irony. The irony.
Fucking the show came out, and the only reason I even put this on the show notes is just because like it caused a little bit of hoopla right before it came out. They did an interview with the Variety where one of the producers of the show said that we didn't even look at the game, we didn't talk about the game. Halo season 1 showrunner Stephen Kane said on his prep for the developers, 343 injuries, we talk about the characters in the world, so I never felt limited by the game. And that caused a lot of hoopla because basically they were saying they never even played the game or looked at the story. So I was gonna ask, does following the story to a T, does that matter to y'all?
No, I'd rather them do a different story personally, because why would I want a retelling of like something I've already seen? It's like Mass Effect. Would I want them to retell like the trilogy in like a TV format? No, I'd want something different or a different like take on it. So
yeah, I agree. I was actually confused by why there was so much hoopla.
Yeah,
because if you further, people just went with the headline. If you further deep dive into it, and then also based off what GB told me, it takes a lot from like the comic books. It is definitely in alignment with the story. It just explores deeper into the Halo universe, and it just doesn't stick
casual
to the
fans
games.
don't look at
So yeah, it was a headline that got taken out of context. Yeah, it pulls from the games, but it also pulls from the comic books, the story as a whole. And based on what he said he thought it was really good. He thought it was a 7. It has some problems, and I'm gonna take his opinion over other people because he's a fucking Halo fanboy. And he's like it's got problems, but he's like it's a 7. He's like it's honestly not bad.
You can watch the first episode for free right now. It's on YouTube.
I just linked it. Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. Yeah,
but yeah, I thought that was kind of weird because like also from like I said, I'm always looking at the big picture. Like if their goal is to continue the show outside of one season, they cannot lean on the games too much. They have to find a way to scale the project and go deeper into the lore. So I was like, why are people so upset by that?
I mean, I would say yes and no. For them to say that they didn't look at the game, like again,
that was
like,
a bad quote.
If that's the first sentence that you
mind
get
your
as
words
a quote,
is what I would say.
yeah, that's kind of like, bro, it's kind of like a slap in the face. It is disrespectful. But if they, read the comic books and actually studied the lore, then that's okay. If this was a movie, then I would really feel like, yeah, you got to take some of the actual lore and then retell it in movie form and in live action form. But this is a show and it has the potential to continue. So I definitely agree with you all's point. Like if you're going to tell another story about the Halo universe that nobody has ever heard or seen before, and that's your ultimate goal, then fine. But yeah, for that to be the first sentence, I can understand why people were upset.
Yeah. I think when we all get a chance to actually sit down and watch it, maybe we could talk about it like on either a different video on GI or a different podcast or something like that, because I'm definitely going to get around to watching it. The production on it looked really good. It looked like Paramount spent a lot of money. So, just somebody give me their password. All right, let's get into the news portion of the show. One of the big stories coming out this week is E3 is officially canceled. And when we say canceled, that means there will be no physical event in LA and there will be no digital event. What's the name? Are we surprised?
Nope.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, me neither. So like I feel like we have this conversation like at least twice a year. Why do we feel like E3 was I feel like I thought about it when I put it on the notes. I was like, I swear we've been talking about it's probably gonna get canceled for like the last 5 years, and it finally happened. And I'm just like, is anybody surprised? Why do you guys feel like it's canceled?
Yeah, I mean, now they did say that they're going to try to come back next year. I mean, I honestly think they canceled the digital portion just simply because like it was really a mess last year. Like it made no sense. And then on top of that, they were trying to charge people to actually attend a digital event. I'm like, come on, it's digital. Like the point of the digital event is, for people to be able to, actually attend the event like for free, like to see it because they can't actually get there, in person and check out everything. Because we can't physically even play any game. There are no demos for you to show. So unless like the actual companies or the actual devs are going to, give you access remotely, like you're not even going to be able to play half the thing that you would normally be able to play in person. So for them to have the nerve to be like, hey, we're going to charge you for this, like I feel like that was really, really distasteful of them. I understand you're losing money because obviously you don't have the millions upon millions of dollars, for the space that people will be taking every single year. But hey, so I think that was the main reason. Like it was a bad format that they were trying to do. Like if they would have made it free, then I think that they could have easily done a digital event. And I think that probably more devs and more studios would have been all for it. So it is what it is. But we'll see like if next year comes around and they end up canceling it again, because at this point like they're just going to keep blaming COVID and not really say like what the true reasons are like behind the scenes and really it just is all these other companies finally wised up and they were like, hey, like we can throw our own damn event. Why spend millions of dollars to be there in person when we can just show whatever the hell we want, just have our own state of the play or whatever, and then just show off our damn games, because we're going to get the same type of traction or actually more traction, because now you're not basically gatekeeping the people like the general public who wouldn't be able to attend these events either because they can't afford it or they just physically weren't invited. So I think people just wised up, and you got all these other companies that were like, hey, we're not even going there anymore, we're just going to do our own thing. So when you lose all that money, then what event are you going to throw when nobody shows up?
Yeah, a couple of things. I remember when Nintendo first announced their directs, they got clowned. I think once again, let's give Nintendo their flowers. They were ahead of the game. They had foresight, and now everybody's copying them with State of the Play and Summer Games Fest and all this other shit. So I mean, once again, Nintendo innovated. When you're different, people clown you, but it ended up, working out in their favor. And then also, I think another problem with E3 too is just like I don't think they ever adapted, in a sense that like, all right, you started to see people were pulling out, and the main reason from my understanding that a lot of companies pulled out was it was just too much of a spectacle. It cost way too much to rent out a booth, and and we've been to E3, we've seen how big it is. It was a lot going on, and was it really worth it? Especially when you were like a smaller game, like a B tier type of game. You got these big AAA studios there, they're gonna hog all the attention, but then you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars for a booth to barely get any fucking attention. I think E3 should adapt it in a sense and downscaled if they wanted to keep it in person, because I think there is some value there doing things in person and keeping it more for like the press instead of it keeping it open, because you want people to have those hands-on impressions and stuff like that. But I mean, if they actually do come back, I mean, this is kind of just like a suggestion if somebody ever listens. I mean, why not go back to your roots? Like if you want to do like an in-person show and be budget friendly, maybe downscale and go back to what it originally was. A lot of people don't know, but E3 originally started off as kind of like just a corner in CES. It's like, why not go back to CES and like just take over a hallway for like Sony, Xbox, Nintendo? It'd be a little bit more affordable, maybe some smart, like just have like a gaming section inside of CES. That way, you're taking some of the lift of the finances off of the ESA. I don't know, just a suggestion. But
I will say this, unpopular opinion, I think that they should really go back to having it just be press only.
I agree.
I don't think that the general public should be there. Like it really, I think it really tarnished like the entire event. Like it needs to be more intimate. Like I still will agree, like even though we are in this digital age of 2022, the pandemic has happened and people are just nasty out there, but you're still never really going to beat networking in person. You're never going to beat that. Like just meeting people in person. That's how we, ended up starting off, and we ended up developing some pretty good relationships with a lot of these companies, just from going to E3. So I think that they should bring it back to that. Like I understand that, they were losing money. So they were like, hey, like let's invite the general public. But what is the general public really going to do? They're only going to go there to stand in lines to play one or two games that they really, really are excited for. What's the point of that? Like we came there to freaking work. We came there to network and establish these relationships and get these interviews in. But the general public isn't going to do that. So I think they need to bring it back to that. Like just the general public does not need to attend.
I think they can do both if money is an issue. I think the problem is how they handled the general public being in E3 was a problem. From what I remember, it was like the first hour at E3 was press only, but I mean, anybody who's been there and attended as press knows that's not enough time to get an ample amount of work done. So like they should have made it to where like the first 3 or 4 hours is press only. And then they opened up to the public in the last 3 hours, everybody can come in. That way, at least you get a few hours of trying to get some work in without having some snot-nosed weirdo with his 3DS who smells like shit next to you, hogging up the damn line. And then wherever you didn't go, you can double back while the general public's there and try to get that there in those last 3 hours. I think they just mishandled it wrong because there's a way to make money, I think, without. Mm-hmm. But I from what I remember like the first hour. And the problem is like that hour turns into like 30 minutes because you're waiting and shit. Like you really don't get much done. I remember they opened the gates and everybody just ran in and we were just like, bro, holy shit. Yep. Like, how are we going to get anything done?
Yeah, it was bad. You literally can't do shit in an hour. I'll give you one better. Like forget 3 or 4 hours. Give us a whole day. Give the president an entire day. And just let us get our major stuff out, and then let the public go ahead and stand in lines. Because, we're not going to stand in lines. We learned our lesson after that first E3. Like, this is not the wave. We need to get these appointments established. And then, we get on the list, and we ended up getting all this stuff handled before we even got to the event. And then for the things that we didn't get access to, we ended up finagling and finessing in order to get into those rooms, into those spaces. So, give us a whole day. And then let the public do whatever they want the last 2 days.
Yeah. Ethan, you got any takes on this?
I agree with both of what you guys said. I don't have anything else to add.
You are worthless. We're gonna kick you out.
If he don't go first, bro, he's just gonna agree with us.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure you put in some work. Fucking next topic. Next topic: PlayStation Game Pass. Negro. Let me hear what you got to say about this.
It's real. It's real.
Hold on. Let me talk about it. Let me talk about it first. All right. Sorry. Hold on. Bring your goddamn opinion. Let me explain to the people who haven't heard it.
My opinion.
No, shut up, bro. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. Order in the court.
See what I'm dealing with, baby?
Freaking, so Sony announced their competitor to the PlayStation Game Pass, this new service. It's basically just, they're still calling it PlayStation Plus, but now there will be tiers to it. The new service has 3 tiers. The middle level, so the first tier is basic PlayStation Plus, nothing will change. The middle tier, it adds over 400 PlayStation 4 and PS5 games to download. And the third and most expensive tier, which is $120 a year, allows subscribers to play PlayStation 1, 2, and 3 games, as well as PSP games from Sony's catalog. So that's basically what it's just adding more games basically, and then like some demos. So here's my problem, right? I pay $120 a year and I get all these games. It's not the entire catalog of PS1, 2, and 3 and PSP games. It is a curated list. So I understand it's not every game. Your favorite games might not be there. And then on top of that, what's the point? One of my favorite games on the PSP was SOCOM Fireteam Bravo 1 and 2, right? Let's say I get access to that. If I can't play it online, what's the point? There was no clarification on will there be online access to this, or will it just be single player only games? So I actually agree with you, Ethos. This is kind of mid. I think the Xbox Game Pass is actually better because you get new releases on day one. But go ahead, break it down why you think it's mid.
No, you just said everything what I just said, bro. First,
I
no.
hate you.
First, no day one. That was the first L. That's when I knew the first
Fat
L was
L.
coming. The first L was they didn't day one any of the PS5 games. I don't want to hear nothing about no quality argument or nothing like that. People, look, it's already getting hard out here, inflation and gas prices and stuff. And on top of that, Sony wanted to drop $70 video games. So the least they could have done with this new service was to give you those at least as a day one as part of this. They didn't do that. You probably aren't going to get access to them for probably maybe the first year that they've been out because they want to double dip. So that's already an L. Second thing is all the you don't even get to play the games that you own that are PS1 and PS2. So I own a bunch of PS2 games. I can't even play them. I have to go through this service to get access to an emulator to be able to play them. Then I have to buy them again in order for me to be able to play them, unless like some curated list, luckily enough, puts them on this list that I get to play them. And then again, this doesn't.
Hold on. I thought if you pay the $120 a year, you get to stream the game. Wait, it just gives you access to the PS2 library?
Let's double check. Because what I heard was like there'll be like what you said, like right, like there'll be a curated. I'll double check the article, but I heard there was a curated list, so you'll get like obviously a list of like curated PS1 and PlayStation 2 stuff that you'll have access to, but I heard that like if you were gonna get access, it's not like every single PS1, PlayStation 2, PSP, and PlayStation 4 game is gonna be on here. It'll be no different than like what they did. Remember like 2 or 3 years ago they tried to do those like greatest hits for the PlayStation Plus, where it's like if you have PlayStation Plus, you get like some of these like high big games that like, you know, a lot of people love, like Uncharted 4 and Bloodborne and God of War, and like there's like 7-10 of these games that you get like automatically as long as you still pay for the service. I heard it's a similar thing to this. I'm just double checking right now just to see if that's
this is basically just a rebranding of PlayStation Now.
That's what it is. That's why people say
it's
it's not really a Game Pass competitor. Which is why, a bunch of people said like it's not really a Game Pass competitor. It's just that unfortunately your timing makes it that it doesn't matter what you say. That is what you're comparing. The people are going to compare it to is the Xbox Game Pass, and it's just vastly superior in every single aspect. Because like, come on now, like we tried PlayStation Now. Them cloud servers are not good. They're not that great. So like I already know there's going to be latency involved, and I don't want to deal with that. So. No, Xbox Clouds is so much better. And on top of that, just being able to play it like everywhere I want, like on my phone, on my PC, which still PlayStation does not let me do, unless I do like the PSN Now thing. Like it's just not worth it. I just don't see this as like, I see this as if I'm currently a hardcore PlayStation player and I just play on the PlayStation 5 all day, this may entice me to upgrade to a higher version. But if I'm a gamer that plays on multiple platforms, or I don't pay for PlayStation Plus, nothing about this entire brand new branding makes me want to get it. Nothing. I don't see why any person who has never gotten PlayStation Plus before would want to get it now. They're just gonna be like, okay, this just seems more confusing now, and I don't care. I'd rather go out to eBay. I'd rather go to a retro store. I'd rather buy a PS2 or that old console or PS3 and just buy the game itself and just play it at this point, because this seems really stupid.
Yeah, I won't be subbing to this. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, I'm good.
And
it's more expensive.
A little bit. I mean, $17.99, so $3, but you know, it's still.
Yeah.
I will reserve judgment because I'm waiting to see what games that they're going to have here. Literally, the only thing that Sony has a one-up on with Microsoft is the game catalog. But again, going back to Ethos's point, like it may not be the game that you want to play, but they say they're going to have 400 games at launch, and I would assume that they're going to, you know, add more games. So if you're a nostalgic type of person, or if you're a person who was born in like a later generation and never got to try like any of these games, I think it might possibly be a good value for you. So I'm going to reserve judgment and see like how everything turns out, like what games that they're going to have in the catalog and how these cloud streaming services are going to run. Because going back to PlayStation Now, like this is basically rebranding PlayStation Now, just integrated with the PlayStation Plus. So they literally just combine, you know, the two together. So I'll see. I'm not going to completely shit on it, but you know, when we were talking about the rumors, which ended up being true, we said that the biggest L that they were going to take is if they don't bring these new games out day one. And now they're doubling down on it, talking about it's going to diminish the quality, like Ethos said earlier. And I think that's bullshit. Like nobody cares about the Microsoft part. Like people love playing these games day one on Game Pass, because guess what? There's value in that. So I think this only should just admit it. It was like, we want y'all Negroes to pay $70 for these games. Like just say it. Like we're not going to include it into this program until later on. Like, you're gonna have to wait. Either you want to play it, pay them price and play it now, or you're gonna wait like 6 months to a year later, and when we finally put it on the PlayStation Plus Premium.
Yeah, I don't want to play Daxter that damn bad. Look at Siggy on Elden Ring. He has a problem. Anyways, I'm not gonna say what website it is, but just gonna put it out there. If you do your Google search, guys, you could play PlayStation and Nintendo games in your web browser. Just gonna you don't have to pay for this shit
on your Steam Deck.
No, I mean you can straight play it out the web browser for free.
Yeah, actually,
PlayStation games too. Just do a quick Google search, plug a controller in. Anyways, I'm good off of that. This shit to L. What's the name? Oh, here, speaking of another L, Rockstar announced Grand Theft Auto Plus for Grand Theft Auto Online. It'll be a subscription service. I believe it's $5 a month or something like that, and you get 500,000 digital dollars every month delivered. You get a new house, a new auto shop, some new little a new basketball top. Double the rep when you do races.
Bruh, this a April Fool's joke, ain't it?
Nah, this was announced before April Fool's joke. This is one of those moments where I'm just like, dear gamers, if you buy this shit, if you subscribe to Grand Theft Auto Plus, you are a part of the fucking problem, bruh. This is going to be exclusive to the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X. It's going to be next gen exclusive. They're trying to make
try that on PC.
You say
yeah. What happened? They try,
Well, hackers and modders are just gonna give the money for free.
Exactly.
They ain't gonna work on PC.
I love, if you look at the tweet that I linked, it's $5.99 a month. One of the top tweets of the bot is somebody photoshopped the L star. I love that shit, bro. Mostly it's been a negative response, which I'm happy, but this is the internet memeing. Will people actually have a backbone? Because there's no value. $500,000 digital every y'all niggas is online playing this shit that much that you want to subscribe for $5 a month. It's enough subscription service, bro. You guys coming
this
back
one is this is a weird one, bro. I truly don't understand. Instead of just releasing this program that you pay for every month to get 500,000 digital dollars. Oh my god! Look, when I saw that, I was like, "Really, bro? Does this really intrigue people?" I was like, "Why don't you just continue working on the next GTA or another game in your repertoire, Rockstar?" At this point, I can't even with a straight face say that Rockstar is one of my favorite companies, because I did say that at one point in time. They've milked GTA 5 so much that I just don't even want to play the game anymore. I'm like, Rockstar, do you truly have
disgusting.
Anything else? Yeah, no, it really is disgusting what they're doing. And I'm like, did they get new management or something? Did they get someone else in the upper offices that just keep saying, hey, they bought all these freaking shark cards. You see what they're doing with GTA RP? They're keeping this game alive. So let's just keep bringing this game out on every next gen console that we have, and just keep updating it so that they just keep playing the game. I just don't understand why this is the mindset now that they're taking. Make another freaking game. Is it really that hard? I don't know.
I would call Joe and ask him to do something about it, but we all know that nigga's sleep, and it's probably because of the game we're about to talk about now, Hogwarts Legacy. I think one of them bibbidi bobbidi boo ass niggas casted a spell on Joe Biden, because anyways, Hogwarts Legacy. It was the game that they showcased at the State of Play on March 17th. They finally showed gameplay. It was a 22-minute demo. If you haven't seen it, I encourage everybody to go on YouTube and search Hogwarts Legacy State of the Play. Showed a little bit of the world, the character you'll play, the combat, the puzzles. Ethos, you're a big Slytherin fan. How do you feel about this, Hufflepuff head ass?
No, sir, I am a Ravenclaw. Thank you very much.
Let it call you a Hufflepuff inward.
No.
State your opinion.
Didn't we just get sponsored?
Oh no, yeah, you're right. Yeah, cut that out. No game awards.
This is why we can't have anything nice. No, I love it every single second. Oh man, I was the childhood version of me was mind blown. This was a game I always wanted as a kid, and just seeing it come to life and actually be surprisingly wow, like I just wasn't expecting to be this like quality level. Like honestly, I thought when they were gonna reveal it, it was gonna be like disappointing, but it ended up being everything I ever wanted, like from what they've shown. So I'm excited. Definitely gonna pick it up day one, no doubt. As a Harry Potter fan.
So, as someone who's not a fan of Harry Potter and knows nothing about it, I was strictly judging it from like a gameplay standpoint. I've never really wanted to, be a Gryffindor or have a broomstick shoved up my ass. So, from a gameplay standpoint, graphically, the game looks great. It looks like they're crafting a really interesting world it piques my interest. My main concern with this game is the actual combat. From what we saw, it was just a kind of like a lot of the flicking of the wrist, and I'm trying to figure out what's the depth in that. Like, I feel like I'd get bored of that really quickly. So there's going to be puzzles, cool, but like I want to see more of the combat and how they're going to make it more dynamic. That's my main concern with it. I feel like after 2 hours, I might get bored with it. What about you, Jay?
Man, I saw this. I thought that this was fire. Like it actually like exceeded like whatever expectation that I had for the game. Like, and I already be knowing my mate stuff on Elden Ring. So I was like, hey, this is right up my alley. Like I can you spamming my spells, boy. So it looked dope though. I was thoroughly impressed with what I've seen. Like it's actually a lot of depth in this game. Like they actually went into a lot of details on what you can do in this entire, Hogwarts world. They got a lot of stuff here. So I don't think you would get bored.
What do you mean the depth? Because like I'm watching the gameplay again right now, and it's like, okay, he's casting a red spell, then a blue spell. And like the only difference is how he flicks the wrist. That's what I mean when I say like is there like a priming detonating system? Is there any physical combat? Like how does it work?
I understand. Yeah, I understand your concerns about the combat, but I'm talking about like the entire world.
Oh,
like,
everything you can do.
Yeah, everything that you can do in the world. I think there's a lot of depth there.
Like you can go to classes, you have friends and companions that you become friends with from different classes. And it's like it sounds like they're making like a Mass Effect type of companion system. I think that's what like JJ's referring to.
Do you get to pick what group you're going to be in?
Yeah, well, they haven't told us. Apparently, so the way that the movies and the books work is like when you go to the school, you sit down and this hat, the hat of sorting, like they put it on your head, and this thing like basically kind of like reads your personality and it fits you in a house based off like the type of person you are, and that the 4 houses are based off of different like personality types and like values, if you will. So, but they haven't said if it's like, oh, you're going to be able to determine whatever class, but that's been something that people who are fans of Harry Potter have always wanted. Like we wanted a game where we could pick the house we want to be at or join any of the 4 houses, because usually it's always been you're with Harry Potter, so you're always with Gryffindor. You don't ever get to see the side of, oh well, what if I was like a Hufflepuff, or what if I was a Slytherin, like what would that look like? Now you get to do that. And the little teaser, which is I think what that got like all the people hyped, was it looks like you can be a dark wizard too, because you did basically like a forbidden spell at the end that like like that's basically a kill spell. Like you activate that, you basically kill the person if you hit him with it. What's the name of JG?
What does it mean to be a dark wizard?
I forgot. I don't know.
Voldemort. Like you
killing people, bro.
Voldemort. Yeah, you straight up killing people. Yeah, you're evil.
This shit's so dirty, bro.
It is, but it's gas. It's gas.
You're gonna be good golly. You're gonna be a dark wizard.
Yeah, you gotta be a dark wizard.
Oh my god, bro! But do you see these effects though, man?
It's gas. It's gas. It looks like straight out of the movie.
Did they say what this footage was running on? Is it a 4 or 5? It was running on
5. They said, I think they said it was a PS5.
Broke boys, get your money.
Is this UE ethos?
I have no idea. I haven't checked into the. Actually, I'm gonna check right now. What's the name of this game?
Hogwarts Legacy.
Hogwarts Legacy. It looks like it's UE. I don't know if it's 4 or 5 though.
Games is making this. It's probably no. Let's see.
Avalanche. When is this supposed to come out?
Max Payne. I mean, not Max Payne. Max. What was the name of that game we liked? Oh yeah, it is. It's Unreal Engine. So yeah.
Okay.
This is Unreal Engine.
I respect that. I respect that they came out and they gave like a 20-minute demo. Like I feel like this was enough to where the point
that's what it was. Yeah, they just straight up gave 15 minutes of nothing but straight up gameplay. I think that's what really sold me. It was no like cinematic trailer. Yeah. It was just straight up like, this is what you do in the game. Here you go,
and they don't really need to do anything else. Like I feel like this is enough. All right, now drop the game. What's the release date? Drop the game. That's cool. If you want to drop one more like launch trailer, cool. I feel like that's how you do it. Because I remember we had like a discussion like maybe like a year ago, and you were asking what exactly makes like a good trailer. I feel like this is like how you reveal a game. Just give me 15 to 20 minutes. You could talk over it, show a little bit of what you can do in the game. You don't got to show everything. And I think that gets people excited. I think that's one of the reasons that Starfield divided the internet, because they did something similar. But the difference is when they did their little 20-minute thing, it was 5 developers sitting around in a chair circle jerking each other, talking about how great they are.
There's no gameplay.
And there was no fucking gameplay. So, I mean, that was actually like the next topic. Like, I thought Hogwarts was cool. Do y'all care that they're not showing any gameplay yet?
Starfield?
Yeah.
I mean, they usually do this, especially like they did with Fallout 4, because they like revealed Fallout 4 and they showed gameplay like literally 4 months before the game actually launched, like a full on like this is what you do in Fallout 4. But people always bring that up. I think the difference is I liked when they did that. They revealed it and they were like 6 months later the game's coming out. Early.
Yeah, I feel like they revealed it too early and they keep talking about it. Shut the fuck up. When you got a trailer, show it, drop the release date. That's it. That's all people are for. Like, I feel like
it's at this point, I'm kind of just over it.
I'm tired.
Like, I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to hear.
And then when they do talk about Starfield, it's very pretentious. Like, oh, we've crafted the star. Like, it's almost like some Ubisoft shit. 3 million gazillion stars. Okay, cool, bro. What's the gameplay? We still don't know what this game is, bro.
Yeah, we have no clue. Like, you're trying to explain it. I don't care. It's going in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, show me gameplay of it. Show me like actual feature set. Show me like I've seen the graphics. Graphics look great. Good job on that, Bethesda. But like, you know, show me what I'm actually going to be doing in this game.
I've seen some people defending it like really hard too, and I don't want them to fail. Don't ever get it twisted. Like, we just want to see the game. Like, give us a little something.
I just want to see what it is. I want to know like what I'm going to get excited for. Like, is this really going to be a Mass Effect type game, or is this going to be some like Outer Worlds game? Like, what is it?
I just found it really weird how people were defending them so hard, considering the fact that they are coming off of Fallout 76. I'm like, bro, they don't get the benefit of the doubt over here. It's not like they dropped mid; they dropped a dud.
They try the defense league has always been trying to say is that like, oh, that doesn't count because the people that made Fallout 76 was like their second studio, but like you know how like the BioWare excuse was about Anthem, which was like reason why Mass Effect Andromeda wasn't that good was because they had the B studio, BioWare studio make it, and while the A studio was busy working on Anthem, but you know, see how that worked out. That didn't matter at all.
Still get on BioWare, whatever.
Exactly, and we still get on BioWare about that stuff. So it's the same thing I think for like for Bethesda. I think it doesn't matter to me at this point with like A studio or B studio, because A studio worked on Fallout 4, and just my personal opinion, I didn't enjoy Fallout 4 as much as I wanted to, so I'm not that excited for Starfield regardless. So we'll see what happens. If it surprises me, I'd rather be genuinely surprised and like proven wrong than like hyped up and then just be like, get another Fallout 4 and just be like, oh my god, whatever.
Man, we gotta take a quick break from the show to let everyone know that this episode of the GI Podcast is sponsored by Zavi.com. Zavi.com is the premier online store for all your geek needs. They sell a wide range of products including games, figurines, phone cases, DVDs, posters, clothing, and more. And since we're on the topic of clothing, I have to mention that they recently released an exclusive Sonic the Hedgehog clothing line in celebration of the new Sonic 2 movie. They got Sonic-themed hoodies, shirts, Letterman jackets, shoes, man, and it's all fly and exclusive to Zavi.com. I personally picked up a Letterman jacket because the design was simple and clean, and I always subscribe to the idea that less is more. And what I also love about Zavi is that everything in their store is very affordable. I'd argue this is the biggest reason you should check them out. They're not overcharging for their clothes or anything in their store for that matter. And to make this deal even sweeter, when you head on over to Zavi.com, be sure to use the code GI Podcast at checkout to get 20% off of their clothes and 10% off of everything else site-wide. I repeat, head on over to Zavi.com and use code GI Podcast at checkout, and you'll receive 20% off of their clothes and 10% off of everything else site-wide. Use code GI Podcast to pick up something from that Sonic collection fast. You know what I am excited about? I feel like this story kind of flew under the radar, and I mean, it's like, it's not too much to talk about, but I mean, it's a little something. Freaking Casey Hudson, which is like was like the face of BioWare during their glory days. He left BioWare and he made a new studio, and I'm so glad I reread this because originally I read it as Hemorrhoid Studios, but it's Humanoid Studios.
That reading comprehension, boy.
You know it, bro. I'm just fucking tired. I can't read. So he revealed recently that they are working on a new AAA space game. He said our current project is a multi-platform AAA game focusing on character-driven narrative in an all-new science fiction universe. And I read that shit, that one little sentence, that got me excited because I'm like, yo, this is the brains behind Mass Effect, saying he's basically creating a competitor to Mass Effect and Starfield. I don't know, because we don't know what that shit is. Yeah. So I'm excited to see where this goes whenever they reveal like the fucking gameplay. But then also got me thinking too, I'm like, okay, well, how's this new Mass Effect gonna turn out too, bro? Like, is this the spiritual successor we've been waiting for?
Yeah, who knows? We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, whatever this new game is, I just need to make sure JG plays it because we don't want to have another Archangel.
Oh man, we cannot afford that to ever to happen again. That was so embarrassing.
Who's this guy?
I'll play it, bro.
That was so embarrassing. Man.
Leave me alone.
This guy seems pretty important.
Everybody in the chat losing their minds. JG, who is this guy? Do I care? Everyone in the chat. Oh my.
No, hold on. I got a comparison. Just like T-Base not knowing who the fuck Ezekiel Elliott is. It's the same thing.
It's
all
really not.
People like, bro. Yes, it is.
It's really not. Let me explain you the difference. The difference is we were comparing games, and you didn't know something about a game. That's nerd shit. You're talking about caveman shit, football. Why the fuck would I know about cavemen? What the fuck are you talking about?
No. It's not like a D League type of player, bro.
Until the NFL cuts a check.
Of the Cowboys
until the NFL cuts a check, I will forever slander that sport, bro. It is for fucking caveman. Ooga booga shit. I don't like it.
Clip this so then later when he gets the bag from NFL, you can tweet it to him.
Oh, I've been a hypocrite all my life. Fucking NFL cut the right check. Yo, Ezekiel Elliott is nice, bro. Yo, Ezekiel Elliott's a great point guard.
Oh my god, bro.
Fucking love that shit, bro. Fucking love that shit. When he did that little dance in the end zone or some shit. Anyways. CD Projekt Red announced they are working on the next Witcher. It'll run in Unreal Engine 5, and they have a strategic partnership with Epic Games. How are we feeling about this, Ethos? You're a big Witcher fan?
Absolutely. I'm excited. If Ciri is the main protagonist, I'll be extremely hyped.
I have a guess. I don't think it'll be called The Witcher 4. Because for marketing reasons, a lot of times companies don't like to implement the number 4 because studies have shown that people don't respond to it as well. That's why it was called Mass Effect Andromeda versus Mass Effect 4. So I feel like it'll be called The Witcher with some type of underlying series adventure or some shit like that. Like it'll have some type
of Destiny.
Yeah. They're not gonna call it that. That's why, or Assassin's Creed Origins. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna have some different type of shit.
Subtitle names. Now.
Yeah, subtitles are what I'm looking for. My bad. Yeah. How you feeling about this, Jay?
I mean, I don't play The Witcher, so I don't care for real. I'm not excited like Ethos is, but I have a question for Ethos. At the end of Witcher 3, and I don't care if you spoil it because I don't think I ever play it.
But now I'm gonna get blamed. Don't you spoil The Witcher?
No, go ahead. But did it set up like this is the end, or did they set it up like this is a continuing type of story?
Yeah, so it's not far-fetched for them to make a direct sequel to 3 because so the tricky part is going to be is that Witcher 3 had like 60 permutations of its endings, but really you come up with like 3 main endings, and a lot of them revolve around what Ciri does. Like one of them is Ciri sacrifices herself so she stops like the end of the world. Another one is basically where she becomes the Empress of Niflheim. I think that's the name of the. If you watch the Witcher TV show, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Niflheim, what?
Yeah,
Niflheim.
I think that's what they are. The nation of the black armor people, basically the one that Empress, Ahiram or whatever, I can't remember his name either. Basically, she becomes the Empress of that nation, and then the third one, which is what everyone's hoping is the canon one, which everyone likes the most, is Geralt goes into retirement, and Ciri, instead of like becoming Empress, she becomes a Witcher. So she actually undergoes the trials, and she becomes like the next generation of Witcher. And Geralt retires to the countryside, and so she becomes a full-fledged Witcher, and she goes around the countryside like killing shit and doing all this other cool stuff. That's what everybody like. I think that's what everyone's favorite ending is, and I think that's might be what people are hoping Witcher 4 is. Like why you play as Ciri is like her as a Witcher, and like her like maybe like kind of like how the Batman movie was, like her year 1 of her being a Witcher by herself, basically. Because that's basically what Witchers are. They're basically like Batman, but like bounty hunters for hire that kill like monsters and shit. So
The Witcher 4 Ciri song.
Ooh. Ciri song. Ooh. Featuring Dobby from Harry Potter.
It's about to be lit, so look out for that. I'm pretty sure we won't see that for another 6 years. Last couple pieces of news. A new custom Sonic Xbox was announced in celebration of the new film that's coming out next week on the 8th, I believe. The actual design of the Xbox, I like it because the ring around it looks really cool, and then the red and the blue looks cool on it. But what's causing a lot of controversy, for those of you who haven't seen it, look up the custom Sonic the Hedgehog Xbox. The actual controllers are furry. There's a furry red one and a furry blue one. How you feeling about this, Jay?
Man, am I supposed to cuddle with these controllers or play with them? These are the ugliest controllers I have ever seen, dog. Like the fact that they even thought about this, like it's mad ugly, dog. I can't, dog. It's bad. You can't seriously play with that.
Yeah, I'm just confused by your statement because the first thing you went to is cuddles. Like you cuddle with furries?
Do you see what the controller is like? It looks like it's a pillow.
This nigga, bro. We gotta watch him at conventions. Ethos, how you feel about it?
Oh, I have no comment. I don't even know. I have nothing. I just don't know how to react to this thing. It's weird.
You got to see it. For those who are listening to the audio of it, like you got to just Google it and look it up, bro. Freaking, I'll say this much. This is a really interesting design for the simple fact that, like, who is this for? Do they not understand that? Like,
that's what I can't understand.
The average gamer, like, there's truth to some stereotypes. Okay, a lot of gamers are sweaty, weird ass neckbeards. Okay, they fucking stink. There's literally a product called like gamer goo or some shit like that, where you put it on your hands and it keeps your hands from sliding off the controller, because there are a lot of gamers out there enough to make this product warranted to be developed to where their hands get sweaty on the controller. So like imagine like some sweaty ass nerd sweating all over the fucking controller. That shit is gonna stink. It's gonna get like mildew all over it and stuff. I'm like, what? I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
You and I both.
Yeah, but I like the ring on the Xbox. That looks really cool.
Yeah, that looks dope. I think that there are better ways to celebrate the launch of Sonic 2. I think we may have something.
Why not?
I think there's a better way to celebrate the announcement. You know?
I can't say
that. That's a good segue.
I think I know where you guys are going with this. Freaking, I think they should have just made the controller red and blue, and that would have been suffice. That would have been enough. A couple more things. Amazon and Microsoft are battling to entice game developers to develop more for their cloud using Amazon's cloud services. Every few years, they said the game industry undergoes a transformation, a reinvention of itself, says Sarah Bond. Shout out to Sarah Bond. We love new platforms and new technologies make way for new genres, new gameplay, new IP. The reason I even put this story on there, because I wanted to pick your brain as a game developer, why you think they're pushing for cloud more. And my take is like, well, I don't know if this is what they're trying to do, but I think this could be a great way of implementing it. With the rise of indie developers and early access games, you know, people can be a little bit what's the word I'm looking for, iffy about like supporting those games. But like if those type of titles are on the cloud, I feel like that can actually help game development, knowing that like you don't have to download anything and you can just stream it from the platform, especially if it's like on the Game Pass or, well, the PlayStation Pass don't got no games, but what's the name? The Xbox Pass, if it's on there, I think that can help with game development. But yeah, I wanted to see what our residential game developer thought about why you think that these companies are trying to get more people on the cloud.
I think it just simply has to do with just the idea of like the mobile market is so massive, and on top of that, like hardware console physicality is becoming kind of obsolete as time goes on. You know, we're developing apps that can run full games on your TV now, so it's like why pay $400 for a piece of plastic when you can just like click a button and have it appear on your phone or have it appear on your TV? So I feel like that's just like why they're trying to get to cloud. And I think on top of that, like obviously like countries and like mobile's so massive in some countries where it's like, you know, the majority of gamers play on their mobile phones. So like just getting into that market, cloud, you know, gaming works well with mobile phone devices. So it seems like that's why they're heading that way. That's my take, at least, what I think.
Trying to get those AAA experiences to the mobile market so that you can just plug an Xbox controller to with Bluetooth to your phone, basically. Yeah,
and just play everywhere. Like that's what Xbox is. I mean, they've said it publicly. That's been their plan now for the past couple of years since Phil's taken over. It's just like we want you to be able to play Xbox everywhere, no matter where you're on, what platform you're on. And you see it with the Steam Deck, you see it with like all these other devices. It's pushing this like way to be able to play your games how you want, where you want.
Yeah, I think it doesn't. The one issue with that, like, it's a good sentiment, but the one issue with that is like internet. Good internet is still not a regular thing. Even like stateside, good internet, you can get it like in the coastal cities. Like people, like I remember I read our stats for our podcast, and it said that for viewership, it said 0% in Cleveland because people in like Ohio don't even have internet. Yeah,
do they even know we exist?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think they're too busy fighting them demon dogs in Khalid or something. So Some big ass crows.
I know, man.
So it's like that would be the main problem. There's still a problem with internet access for, lower income areas. How will they solve that issue? You're gonna have to, and that's an infrastructure issue.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's crazy. So like, yeah, with all this development and the eventual goal of like having cloud gaming and not having like anything physical, like they're still gonna have to like. I would think the next step, which they should have already been doing, is they need to really get in touch with these ISPs that have been holding on to these lines since forever and be like, hey, when are we going to get better internet in like everywhere and not just in these major cities? I think that should be probably one of the next steps then.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I feel like we're at least 10 years out before like good internet is everywhere. Because I mean, like,
have you been saying like the 2 gigs of like my internet provider? Like, I can actually get 2 gigs now.
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah, seen that. I've been looking. I was like, ooh, where they got that around here, boys?
I was like, damn, should I get it just because?
But here's the problem though. It's still an infrastructure issue because like it's still the same areas getting up. They're getting upgraded to the 2 gig internet, but like there's areas that still haven't gotten a gig. There's areas that still can't even get 100 up, 100 down. Or they'll have 100 down, but 2 up. Like,
yeah, but a lot of those areas now, like I just recently got a new phone, and like that phone has like 5G, and I did notice like just the speeds are like almost as fast as, like, as if I was there. Yeah, and
you said you got
what
5G?
Yes. We Androids get everything usually first before iPhone. You know that, right? Like, you know that, right? I know you've been a little brainwashed, but I know you had an Android. You do know that. I know you're not stupid. I know you've been falling for the.
You know I don't give a fuck about phones. I just like to piss Android users off.
I know. I'm just saying. I know you haven't fallen for the stupid Apple propaganda. But
you make sure your Google Calendar tuned up, nigga.
They
whatever.
still doing that. Absolutely. I got that shit synced to everything, bro. Everywhere. My phone, my TV. Everything. No, it's actually funny because this new phone I got that Samsung's released, I can't tell you how many times I've had this thing out in public and people think it's an iPhone. Like, legitimately, they mistaken it for an iPhone. They're like, wait, that's an Android? I'm like
those,
yes.
like those people.
Oh, it shit looks like iPhone now.
You got an iZoom? Like those people back in the
They
day.
still think like Androids look like these like Nokia phones, and I'm just like, I show them my phone. They're like, this can't be. This looks like an iPhone, bro. It's like slick. It has the same design look as. I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah. Apple's not the only one that knows how to make good-looking phones, bro. There's other phones that look just as good and they're small too. So, yeah, no.
Speaking of Google, freaking Steam recently announced that they launched a beta for Steam on Chrome OS. You'll soon be able to play Steam games on your Chromebook. I'm trying to figure out who the fuck this is. What game you gonna play? That shit don't that shit run off a CPU or something?
I don't know. I gave my mom a Chromebook.
It's cloud based, so but it's Linux. It is based off of Linux. But the thing about me is, and I haven't even really been checking on Chromebooks. I don't know like a lot of rigs that have like decent hardware to even run anything. A lot of the Chromebooks or the initial Chromebooks that came out, like these are like super bare bones. Like they're literally just to get you on the internet and just run some Google Suite applications. Like, so I didn't even know that they were making Chromebooks that were, as strong as a regular like Windows PC, or even like, if you put Linux on like a high-end PC to even play anything. So that was the interesting thing for me. I'm like, really? Like, what type of Chromebooks do people have nowadays? Because if you're getting a Chromebook, you're not gonna put some really strong hardware to run Chrome OS. So that was my thing. I was very surprised at that. So I guess there are some rigs out there that are pretty powerful, but it goes back to the question of what the hell are you gonna play?
These bitches is not powerful, bro. Like, okay, if you get a Chromebooks are only okay if you get one for like $200 and you give it to like your little niece so they can play Roblox out the web browser and shit, okay? Like you're only watching YouTube. That's okay. That makes sense for like a kid. But like I'm on Best Buy right now, and like the high-end Chromebooks, like there's this one from Asus. It's $800. And what's in that bitch? A Core i3 with 120 gigabyte SSD. There's no GPU in this shit. And then there's another one for $700. What's in this bitch? Another Core i3 with 8 gigabytes of RAM in it, and it's 64 gigabytes of a SSD. What games are you gonna play on this, bro? Fucking Snake.
That's kind of proving a point. I'm like, if you're on Best Buy, you're not saying anything, because they're saying in this article that the system requirements, you need an Intel Iris an 11th gen Core i5 or i7 and at least 8 gigs of RAM.
If you're buying a high-end Chromebook, like you are getting fucking robbed.
Just get a regular Windows PC.
Yeah, $800. You could get a decent laptop for that. You were getting robbed for this shit, bro.
To be fair,
this should be illegal.
I bought my mom a Chromebook about like a month ago, like 2 or 3 weeks ago. She loves it because I think it's really good for old people because it's very simple. You can't break it.
You playing games on it though? I play games on it.
Online stuff, but I mean the cool
part.
How much
you pay for that?
$90. It was on sale.
Okay, Negro, did you just listen to what I said? I said if you get a low-end one and you're only going to use it for the internet, makes complete sense. I'm not mad at that. But this $800 rig for an i3 with 8 gigabytes of RAM and 128 gigabyte hard drive, Joe Biden, wake the fuck up, bro.
I won't even say anything of that because right now the PC market is screwed. Everything about the PC market is screwed.
Sleepy Joe.
I mean,
that's what Russia doing.
Yeah, that thing's screwed. Do you know how much I paid for a 3080?
This should be illegal.
Take a guess. Take a wild guess.
You pay 1,000?
More. 1,000. 1.2 just to get a
3080.
Damn.
That's how it's
and what the crazy part is that shit don't even work. That's crazy.
Oh my god.
You really don't.
Y'all so good at this shit, bro.
He don't listen, bro. I give up. He does not listen.
This nigga JG don't play no games. Ethos don't play no games.
I literally said 3080. I said 3080, and your brain just immediately went 3090, 3090.
No, the whole 30 line doesn't work. You just said you had a 3070, a 3080, and a 3090. You can't play no games.
I literally be playing games. What are you talking about?
No, man.
Okay, pull up my Steam. Pull up my Steam right now. Pull up my Steam right now and tell me what's the last game.
Let me see. Let me pull up on Steam. Let me see.
Pull my Steam right now.
I'm on your Steam profile right now. It says last game played.
How many hours have I put in the last 2 weeks?
It says you have exactly -5 hours on Elden Ring.
Yeah, bro.
Just looking a little illegal to me, boy. Looking a little illegal to me.
This is what you paid for, Zavi. I'm sorry.
Nah, no. Jokes aside, though. Jokes is use our code. Jokes aside, though, Sleepy Joe need to do something about these high-end Chromebooks, bro. This should be illegal, bro. This is ridiculous.
He needs to do something about just the PC market in general. It's hard out here.
Oh my god!
Can't even build a new PC. It's tough. This is hard.
Crazy. All right, well, that's all I got on my show notes. Do y'all got anything else y'all want to add to the conversation?
Nope.
Nah, I think we good.
I love being black.
I feel that. I
just had a realization last week. I woke up one day. I was like, you know what? Could be worse. I love being black.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Well,
just wanted to let people know. Yeah.
JG, what's your closing statement for Gaming Illuminati episode 124? Go.
Hey man, like I said, 2022. I knew there's some things were gonna happen. I knew some good things were gonna happen. We're finally, getting to the next step with this GI podcast stuff, and I just want to get back to that point where like making some serious money. Get to do this stuff full time and continue to bring you all the content that you all love and enjoy. So I appreciate everybody for continuing to listen to us and follow us on our journey.
Cool. Ethos, what's your closing statement for episode 124? Go.
I love being black. I love all y'all for listening. And shout out to Zavi, man. I be messing with the products they got, and that's not even like no cap. Like it's actually pretty good stuff. So I'm excited about this partnership and seeing where it can go.
Cool. In my closing statement, a couple things. If you're watching the video version at youtube.com/GI updates, please remember to hit the like button and comment below what you thought about the podcast. If you're listening to the audio version, please be sure to rate it 5 stars on Spotify and Apple. And last but not least, I wanted to say that I just totally lost my train of thought. I had a joke, but
yeah, you did, but it was gone.
I'm
gone.
I'm fucking tired. Oh,
I could literally hear where it just dissipated.
Fuck you,
it's
nigga.
Gone.
What's the name? I remember what I'm about to say. Oh, if you made it to the end of the podcast, comment in the comment section below in the video version at youtube.com/GI updates. If you made it this far on the podcast, leave a comment saying # the 3090 is a weapon of mass destruction.
Don't do that stupid shit. Don't please.
That's a long hashtag.
Yeah,
first of all.
Hashtag the web. God damn it, I can't talk.
How about chat? Y'all put hashtag TBH can't read. How about that? Put that.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, that's better.
That'll be better.
Hashtag TBH can't read.
And I'll actually read the comments this time.
We're gonna make this as big as Cock can't cook. All right, TBH can't read. Let's get it.
Wait. Where does Cock can't cook come from?
Khalif can't cook. Him and Paris have been going
It's
about
been a
this
year
for years,
feud. They literally have celebrities slandering them. I don't know.
Yeah, they said they can't cook ribs. It started over ribs.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Well, hashtag 3090 weapon of mass destruction.
No.
Anyway.
Look at
the Googler Supreme just hopped on Elden Ring, boy. That's another one. Yo, that nigga funny, yo. Let me tell you about this man Ace before we wrap this shit up. This man, I made a joke on stream. I was fighting the fucking I slayed the giant, the ice giant or whatever, the fire giant.
Oh, the fire giant?
Yeah. I said, this is not an Ace playthrough, bro. I actually explore. I found the moon veil by accident. I did not go on no fucking YouTube, bro. I said, this is a real fucking playthrough. And then Ace popped up in the chat. He said, hey, wait a minute. Trying to act like you didn't Google everything, bro. You Googled all the farming areas. You Googled all the weapons. This man came back, had all the greatest armor and shit. That's why your new nickname is the Googler Supreme. This nigga JG walked so Ace can fly. All right,
man. to be fair though, because Elden Ring is so massive and barely explains anything, that's okay.
Well, hold on. I know, and I agree because I did
totally fine to Google.
I did Google because somebody in the chat put me onto the bird farming shit. So I went on YouTube. I went on YouTube and looked up how to do it. I'm not mad I'm not mad if you go search. I'm not mad if you go search for like one or two like specific things, even three. I'm upset when you Google the whole game. I'm like, bro, did you even enjoy it? Like I explored.
Tell that whole story. No, tell that whole story, T-Babe. Tell that whole story.
What did you do?
I looked it up, the bird farming place on YouTube, and this shit was too confusing.
Well, hold on. But the only reason I knew about the bird farming, it came from my Twitch chat. I'm not capping on that. I didn't know about it because somebody in my Twitch chat kept saying, yo, you need to use the bird farm. I was like, all right, bro. Well, I'm about to do that shit. But for the most part,
you still looked it up, couldn't follow directions. Ended up stumbling. Yeah, ended up stumbling into a freaking in-game boss.
Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, whatever. But I beat him though.
You did beat him.
But the point is, I'm not the Googler Supreme. Okay.
How many more of these podcast episodes do you think we're gonna keep talking about Elden Ring?
Dead.
I mean, the game is good, bro. Hey, check it out, bro. Motherfuckers always be bitching about how we don't like nothing. We like something, motherfuckers bitch, bro. Like, get out of here.
Talk about something else.
That's why I just want to take none of this shit serious, bro. Fuck all you niggas DLC on your console. All right. Anyways, I appreciate everybody coming through, listening, hit the 5 stars, and we'll see you guys on the next episode of the Googler Supreme podcast. Peace.